Hi everyone, you're all welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful and stylish gathered dress. A big thank you to all my subscribers. So let's dive right in. To begin, I have my pattern paper here. I'll go ahead and place my tape at the starting point and take my bust point of 12 inches, under bust point of 16 inches, waist point of 18 inches, hip point of 25 inches, and I have the full length of the pattern paper. I'll go ahead and rule a horizontal line across the point. If you're here to subscribe to my channel, subscribe, like, turn on your post notification bell so you're updated whenever I post a new video, because we have amazing videos, tutorials coming your way. I'll go on and label my points, my lines. I have the bust point, the under bust point, the waist point, the hip point, and then the full length of the paper. I'll take my shoulder measurement of 16 inches divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'll go ahead and mark it right there. And I'll take the neck width of 3 inches and neck depth of 3 inches. At my shoulder point, I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. And then I'll take my armhole depth, which is my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. I'm going to rule a line across that point. And then I'm going to take the midpoint of my armhole depth. And at that midpoint, I'll come in by 1/2 inch. I'll go ahead and divide my bust measurement by 4. And I'll mark it right there. Divide my under bust measurement by 4 as well. Under bust measurement of 31 inches, waist measurement, round waist of 35 inches, and hip measurement of 42 inches. I'll go on and create my armhole curve. I'm going to be connecting from the shoulder point to the 1/2 inch point I came in by at the midpoint, and then to my bust point. Next, I'll go on to also connect the body measurement from the bust point to the waist point. And then I'm going to curve it into the hip point and down to the hem of my dress. I'll smoothing out that pointed side there to create a curve in between my hip point and the waist. So I'm going to roll a straight line down, connecting from the hip point to the hem. I'll go on and also add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches all around my pattern paper. I'll go on and also roll out my lines connecting the dots. I'll blend it in at that point as well, the waist point. I'll go on and cut out. Okay, I'll be cutting out at the under bust point. Sorry, I made a mistake here by cutting at the bust point, which I corrected later. If you look at the dress we are working on, the gather started from the under bust point to the shoulders. Okay, so when cutting out yours, take note of that. Cut it at the under bust point. I'll go on and extend the lines to the other side of the pattern paper. And then at the waist point, I'm going to be coming down by 7 inches. Okay, I want the asymmetric to start from the right hand side to the left. So at that right hand side, I came down by 7 inches, and at this other side, from my waist point, I'll be coming down by 11 inches. I'm going to rule a slanted line connecting them. Then the next thing, I'll be adding my sewing allowance of 1/2 inch. I prefer to add my sewing allowances to my pattern paper so I don't forget when cutting on my fabric. Okay, so just do what you're comfortable with. I'll go on and cut it out. So we are not going to be needing the down part anymore. We won't need that part anymore. This is what we'll be working with. I'm going to be placing this on another pattern paper to create my back pattern. For my back pattern, I left 1.5 inches. I'm marking that 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. And from that line, I'm going to place the front pattern. And also I left some space up, like about 5 inches. That's because for the back, I don't want my zipper to go too deep. All right, because my underbust point is 16 inches. I don't want a zip as deep as 16 inches. So I went up by 5 inches, and from that 5 inches point, I made a curve connecting to my underbust point of the front pattern. So you can watch how I'm going about this. But if you're okay with a deep back, all right, you don't need to do this. Okay, so you can see how it's looking on the screen. This is what I got. Then at the down part, I just connected it straight. I didn't slant it. I didn't slant the back part yet. Just go on and connect it straight like this at the down part, the hem part of it. We are going to be cutting it soon. So after cutting out the back part, I'm going to remove the front and I'll open up the back. Okay, just go on and notch your zipper point. I'm going to be folding that zipper allowance inward. Just fold it in and open up your pattern paper. I'll fold it that way. You can see how I'm folding it. And I'll use my pins to hold it down. I'll go on and place my front pattern on the back pattern. Okay, right face facing each other, right face to right face, or wrong face to wrong face. But don't do it the opposite side. Just make sure it's either wrong face to wrong face or right face to right face. And now I'll go on and cut out the slants for the back. When you do it like this, it's going to prevent you making mistake. For the upper part of my dress, I won't be needing this one anymore. So I've gone ahead to introduce a new pattern paper. This is what I'll be using to create the gathers. I went on to mark 2 inches and wrote a line. That 2 inches is going to serve as overlap for the front part of my gathers. Alright, so in width, this pattern paper is 30 inches, while the length is 17 inches. From my shoulder to underbust is 16 inches. I added 1 inch extra for sewing allowance. So now I'll go on to take my neck width, which is 3 inches. I'll mark it right there. And then I'm going to be connecting the slanted line from that 3 inches point into the end of the overlap. All right, if you're not creating an overlap, you are okay exposing your bust. Just go on, and you don't need to create the 2 inches. Just mark it straight, slant it to what you have. But if you want a full coverage on your bust, just like you've seen on the screen, this is the outcome of me creating this overlap. I had a full coverage on my chest. You go on and create this extra 2 inches and slant it in this way. I'll be going over to the end of the pattern paper at the other side, at the shoulder side, and I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. I will go ahead and slant this line to the neck width. So let's just go on and cut out. I'll be placing this on my fabric, and I'll be cutting out 2 of these for the front. Okay, 2 of these for the front. I'll also go ahead and separate the back part of my dress, okay, cutting through that midpoint in between the zipper allowance. And this is my fabric. I have 3 yards. I use 3 yards to make this dress. This fabric is called Jokoso. You can use crepe as well. Crepe will also work for this. This is my first time working with this fabric, and it's lovely. I hope I pronounced it well. Jokoso, thereabout. So on my front pattern, I'll go ahead at the waist part and add my sewing allowance. I forgot to do that on the pattern earlier. This is the upper part of the front. I've placed it on my fabric, and I'm going to be leaving about 1 inch at that front part. Okay, I'm going to use that to fold in. All right, you need to fold in to create a kind of a band around that front part. So I'll go on and cut out. And after cutting out, this is what I have. I have 2 pieces of this for the front. For the back, I'll go on and cut off that 2 inches overlap, because I don't need overlap for the back. All right, I don't need overlap for the back. So I went ahead to cut that out. And I'll place it on my fabric and cut out 2 pieces for the back as well. All right, this is what we have. I'll go on and weave round the fabric before I gather. Also, I've cut out for the back, I've cut out for the front. Also, I've also cut out the gathers for the down parts. I cut out 17 inches. Okay, for the down parts, I will use 1.5 for folding, and the other half will be used for joining the upper part of the dress. I've also cut out the front parts, the middle parts. I cut out lining for it as well. I did same thing with the back part. I cut out lining for it as well. So now for the back, all right, I forgot to avoid zipper bulge. So right now I'm at the waist point of my back, coming in by 1/2 inch at the zipper side. Watch how I'm going about this. This is to avoid your zip from bulging. So I'll go on and connect it into the other part like this. You can see the 1 inch point I went in. All right, so I'll go ahead and create a new zipper line of 2 inches at that waist point, and I'll connect it to the rest. This is going to prevent your zip from bulging. So I'll go on and cut off the old one. That won't be necessary anymore. I'll place it on my fabric this way, and I'll cut it out like this. So you can see our new zipper allowance. All right, so I've gone ahead to weave my fabric all round. Now this is the front part of the upper part. Okay, so I'm using my hemming gum because I want a neat finishing at that part. Remember the 1.5 inches we left for the band in front. So I'm using my hemming gum to iron it on it neatly like this. I'll do same thing for the back part as well. So you can see what I have. I'll also be folding the other edge in, which will be at the armhole area. So next I'll go on and make gathers. So this is the middle part of our skirt of the dress. I've gone ahead to mark the midpoint. Now this is the upper part. All right, remember we went in by 2 inches for our overlap. So I'll come in by 2 inches and then mark it. Then from that point, I'll place it at the midpoint Initially, I tried making gathers, but I didn't like the outcome. So I'll be making tiny pleats on this. At the other part of the piece, I also came in by 2 inches. It's from that 2 inches point that I'll be placing right at the midpoint of the skirt. And I'll go on and make my gathers like this. I'm done making my gathers, and this is what I have. You can see the overlap right there. Okay, and you can see how folded the band area is, neatly folded. So this is the front part. I also did the same thing for the back. You can see for the back there is no overlap. It's just straight. Then next I'm going to be adding the lining. Alright, I'll be attaching my lining to the joining part. This is going to cover up the rough edges at that point. Please note to add your lining from the ruffle part. Alright, not from this skirt part. You turn it the other way. I'll do same thing for the back. So I've gone ahead to add my lining. You can see how the rough part is already covered up. Okay, so do same thing to get this result. This is the back part. I'll go ahead to attach my zipper. I've gone on to join it together, and using the loose stitch from the down part, I'll come up by like 5 inches, and then I'll open up the rest part and attach my zipper. I'll be adding my zipper to it like this. After attaching my zipper, I'm going to place the front part on the back, right face facing each other like this, and I'll go on and sew it at the sides. I'm done sewing it at the sides. The next thing is to sew it at the shoulder. Okay, remember at the back we came up by 5 inches, so that is why you can see that the extra fabric we have at the upper part of the back, we'll be trimming that off. And before sewing it on the shoulder. So I'm going to trim that off. So I'll go ahead and join it using 1 inch because I want extra hold at the shoulder there. I'm done joining it, and this is what I have at my shoulder. You can see how it's looking. Okay, so I'm going to be attaching elastic to this. Remember, we have 30 inches at that point. I'll cut out elastic of 10 inches. Okay, and I'll turn it to the wrong face. I'll be attaching the elastic after the band. Okay, just after the band, I'll place my elastic and I'll pull it while I sew it down. So this is it. Place your elastic right after the fold, the band, and place it on your sewing machine and backstitch first so that you can have a very firm hold at the beginning point there. And begin to stretch your elastic. Stretch it out to its limit, okay? This is what is going to give you that ruffle, that gathered effect that you need. And while stretching it out, remember to arrange the fabric underneath, because what you need to do is just to try and sew along the joining in between the shoulders. So I'm done, and this is what we have, okay? This is our sleeve. You can see how it's looking. These are elastic parts. So the next thing is to work on the down part of our dress. This is the fabric, all right? I have 126 inches, okay, in width. To create my gathers, I multiplied my hip measurement by 3 to get this 126 inches. You can multiply your hip measurement by 2, okay, depend on the quantity of fabric you have. And for the length of the down gathers, I cut out 17 inches. I use 1.5 to hem the edges and 1/2 inch to join it to the skirt. At the end, I have 15 inches. Do subscribe to my channel if you have not. Turn on your post notification bell so you're updated when I upload the next video. We have amazing tutorials still coming your way. Stay happy and blessed. See you in my next video. Bye.